If you love the look of hand painted projects but can't quite master the techniques of hand painting, using transfers are a perfect way to elevate your decor or elevate your projects to take it to the next level. Guys, I'm going to share with you in this video some techniques that I have found that will give you the projects to give your projects the look of hand painting, and also my techniques of what I do to give them a whimsical touch that takes them to the next level. Guys, I'm going to share some tips and tricks that I use, and I want to show you how simple it is if you would like to learn as well. Let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to be using the sunflowers transfers in this project, and I'm going to be adhering it to this envelope that I painted. It is an Amazon envelope that I got an order in, and love to flip these Amazon envelopes into cute decor, guys. They're very versatile, and you can flip it inside out if you want, but I love the edges of it, so I choose to paint it with white Boss Bond, which is like slick stick. It is kind of like a cover up, and gives a really nice finish, but I wanted to go ahead and add some white paint, so I'm just using Cotton by Dixie Belle, so I give it a coat of that. And then for the checkerboard border, I'm just using a flat paintbrush and some Dixie Belle paint in the color Dusty Blue. So I just freehand a checkerboard border all the way on each side of the bag. Once my project is completely dry, then I'm going to adhere my transfer. Now, these sunflowers are from Essential Stencil, and I am a brand ambassador, but I absolutely love showing you how different ways to use these rub-on transfers, and how you can, if you haven't quite mastered the hand painting, but you love the look of it, transfers are a great way to do that. And just adhering them to a solid surface is perfect just for decor and for gifts and different things like that. Now, guys, I am using the brand new for 2025 transfer tool by Essential Stencil, and I told you that when I first pulled it out of the envelope that I would give you my honest review, and actually I'm in love with it, and love how it really adheres the decal down. Now, the key is just to, rub and pull up that plastic paper that's on the top, and just make sure that it is coming off of the paper. If not, just hold it back down and rub it until it gets it comes off. Then I just take that plastic paper, go over it. It kind of like adds an extra layer of burnishing, and the decal is on there really well. So to give a little of extra depth and definition, I'm using my dark wax by Kills, and I got it off of Amazon, and just using a little mini scruffy brush. Now, what I'm doing is I have a baby wipe, and I am just wetting my finger and then just smoothing over the Kills wax just to kind of blur it, or kind of fade it a little bit, so that it's not so defined and stark. And so that is the key to it, to making taking these transfers to another level and making it look very hand painted. Now, to finish off the sides of the little checkerboard, I just took my white liner brush and just added a line in there. It's just something that I like to do for my checkerboard borders. And so then once that was completely dry, I took the Kills wax and went around and just wetting my finger just to smooth it out, spread it out a little bit. I just use my finger to go around and add that brown look that I like for my projects, just around the entire envelope. So I'm going to hand letter welcome, and just using a small flat paintbrush. That's what I use to hand letter my letters on. Now, I have been hand lettering for several years, and have just figured out a way to get my letters the way that I like them. I give God all the glory and praise for the patience and the willingness that I wanted to learn how to hand letter like this. I call them my happy dots. And so what I do is I make the letter and then I just put a little dot on the edge of each of the letters. And then once that is dry, I'm going to go back in with a white liner brush and just add a little bit of white in the each of the letters. Then once my letters are completely dry, then I take that Kills Dark wax and go around each of the letters just to give it some definition as well. Also, to kick it up a notch, I'm using my black Sharpie marker. Now, this is the fine point Sharpie marker, and I just go around different parts of the sunflower and the leaves, just giving it a little bit of black defining. I just feel that the black just kind of makes my project pop. It brings out the flower a little bit more and just really gives me the finished look that I like. I also am adding some stickles in the color Icicle and just giving it a little bit of stickles is glitter glue and or glitter paint. And so I'm just going around. And once it dries clear and it gives that glistening look that I want. It also brings my painted projects, takes it up a notch and gives it the look that I want. And so I am absolutely in love with the way that this sunflower decal turned out, and it looks so hand painted. And I hope that you are picking up some tips and tricks for your future projects. Now for the green, I'm just think that one I got from Michael's or something like that. You can get stickles on Amazon. You can get it at different places on the web just by, searching stickles, or maybe you can find it in the scrapbook section at some of the craft stores. These wood boards are from the Dollar Tree, the Crafters Square section, and they measure a little less than 5.5 inches wide by 7.5 inches, and they are 3/4 inch thick. So to put the brown on there, I'm just using my antique wax by Waverly and just a baby wipe just to spread that on. I do all of the sides, front, back, and the sides, because I'm going to be doing the crackle technique with the school glue, and I want that brown to show through. So this is a perfect way to do that. Okay, so to do the crackle technique, what I have is some school glue. This is just Elmer's school glue, and I just put a generous amount on the front of the board, and then I'm going to let that dry to a tacky consistency. I just spread it out just with a brush and just let that dry again to a tacky consistency. For the top coat, I'm using Buttercream by Dixie Belle and just my large paintbrush just to brush that on. I just go in one motion, not going over it too much because I want the crackle to show through. I use my heat gun or my heat tool just to speed it up just a tad, and you can see those cracks show through. Now, for the beautiful decal, I'm using Honey Bees, the sweet little honey pot from Essential Stencil. Now, this is a rub-on transfer. They have beautiful transfers, and I love using them and adding my little touches to it just to take my painted projects to a whole nother level. And I'm excited to be showing you this here today. So I'm just trying to figure out what size I want to put on this board. So I figure out which one I want and go ahead and cut that out and get started on putting this together. So if you are new to rub-on transfers, I just took the backer sheet off and just position it here on my board. Now, what I'm using here is the Essential Transfer Tool by Essential Stencil and just rubbing that on there. Now, I was having a little difficulty getting the transfer off. Just there are a lot of little bitty pieces. So I just switched to my other plastic transfer tool And that just kind of helps me personally just with getting that off. And that is just something that I had in my stash. So I'm just going to burnish that, get all of that off, just rubbing that on pulling the backer sheet back. And if I still have some on there, then I just lay it back down and get it off. And then I just take the plastic sheet and just go over it and burnish it a little bit more. And oh my goodness, this looks so awesome, just so hand painted and just perfect for this little shelf sitter, little decor piece. All right, so then to kick it up a notch, I'm just taking my dark wax by Kills and just a little brush, just going around the edges just to give it some depth and dimension with the distressing that I like. I do use a baby wipe and wet my finger and kind of spread it around. It kind of, blends in around the decal. That just really gives it, takes it to a whole nother level for me and just, makes it so much more hand painted with the depth and all of that good stuff. For the sweet honey, I'm just taking my small flat paintbrush and just spelling out sweet honey. I'll put my happy dots and all of that good stuff on it that I love to do. And once all of that's dried, then I'll go ahead and add some Kills Dark Wax around the lettering. And then for the little white swooshes in each of the happy dots that I like to do, I'm just using the detailing brushes from Essential Stencil. And they work great for little projects like this. Then once all of that is completely dry, then I'm going to go ahead and use my fine Sharpie marker, just going around and just highlighting a little bit. I love the just to bring it out and add a little bit of a black Sharpie marker for my painted projects. And then to add the chippy look around, I'm just using a plastic palette knife that I got a set of this from the Dollar Tree and just some brown paint and just I put the brown paint on the bottom of the palette knife and just going on and just in different places just to give it an age chippy look. Then to add a little bit more pizzazz, I pulled out some Stickles, which is glitter glue, just in different colors, and just going around and adding a little bit of the purple on the lavender that is in this honey pot or honey jar, and then using some of the gold as well as some of my icicle just to bring them out and make this whole little project just look so super sweet. This project is using the All American Blossoms, a transfer set from Essential Stencil. I'm going to be using this cute little mason jar with the red, white, and blue with the wildflowers and the American flag. I'm going to be putting that on this wooden arch. Now, this wooden arch came from Michael's and it's 7.5 by 12 inches. It's the smaller one. And for painting, I'm just using all Dixie Belle paint. That is just my preference, but I'm going to be using some white, which is cotton, and then the blue for the outer layer of the arch is Yankee blue, and then for the red, I'm using Honky Tonk red. Now, I had taken my liners brushes and it just made a different border, like that inner layer, and I did not like that. So I went back and repainted that inner layer Honky Tonk red, used my liner brush to put some white stripes on it, and I like that much better. For my faux plaid pattern, I'm using my fan brush and Spanish Moss by Dixie Belle and just putting that background on there. Now, it was a little bit stark or too dark for me, so I'm going to go back and use a little bit of white and a wispy brush just to soften that up a bit and so that it's not so painted, if that makes sense. So, I like to do that, if I paint something and I don't like it, I just repaint it. Now, for the shading, I'm just using a flat paintbrush and just some brown paint and white paint and just going around and just shading a little bit. I really feel that that really just makes my projects pop, and I just continue to do that. Now, I completely let my painted surface dry before I put on my rub on transfer, and so that is the key to your transfer. If you're putting it on a painted surface, make sure that your surface is completely dry before you adhere the transfer to your surface. So the transfer tool I'm using is the Essential Stencil Transfer Tool, and just rubbing the rub-on transfer there. Kind of pull the plastic back, and if any of the design is on the plastic, I just hold it back down and just rub it again until it's all off of the plastic. Then I just take the little plastic backer sheet and just rub over it just to, it's called burnishing it, and it just kind of adheres it a little bit better. All right, so then for a little bit depth and dimension, I'm just taking my dark wax by Kills and just a little brush, and also I have a baby wipe on the side. I wet my finger just to give it a little bit of depth and dimension. Then I take my stickles. I'm just using icicle here and just going around and just giving a little bit of just a little bit of highlight, just to make it pop. Now, Stickles is glitter glue, and so I'm just going in doing that. Then I go back with my liner brush and just do put a little white in there just to make it a little bit. Again, make it pop. The beauty is in the details, guys. I always say that when I do a project. And so then now I'm just adding some paint splatters. I did black first, then I go back and do white, then just outline a little bit of it with black Sharpie marker. I really feel that it just makes my whole projects pop. And my purpose here is to inspire you, to encourage you to try something new. And rub-on transfers are a great way if you cannot paint or you don't want to paint an actual, mason jar design. Rub-on transfers are a great way to do that. And just by adding a little bit of extra details, just really makes your projects pop. I will have more information in the description box.